It's the Uneducated Educator back with another episode of Tuned In, where we talk about everything under the sun so each one can teach one. And you know how this go, tunes before show. So sit back and relax, we're coming to you live.
We on the job stress, so we playing job until we get job but we jump like fish and you know any pet we day in it. When you see we Juve morning, just give us that fish to it. Go like girl, if she up me I need you. Baby girl, don't waste no time. Back it up on me one time now. One by one just fall in line. Let the job take a wine. Everybody afraid that we, that's you know we bad like that. When we touch down, you open shell up. 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 When you see we Juve morning, all we do is chip. Behind the truck Juve morning, we black and we green, sick. All the girl inside our van, make she bend and stick. She jab like we don't give a damn. We mad and we sick. Jab we no cater. See we on the newspaper, drinking on the counter, jamming girl on the speaker. Girl catch a fire like sulfur, body hot at your water. Pull on the job temperature, Roman girl is big culture. Job we no business, Roman girl is big weakness. Keeping it to some selfies, watch the bumper roll, I want eat it. I got no behavior when I'm under the job fever. Hold a girl, keep calm and just walk us outside, man, we got the flavor. When we touch down, you open shell up. 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 When you see we Juve morning, all we do is chip. Behind the truck Juve morning, we black and we green, sick. All the girl inside our van, make she bend and stick. She jab like we don't give a damn. We mad and we sick. Wait up for me, cause I have a job to me. You can't stop my belly look like way. You can't point when I girl like way. Take a picture, take out a pose behind the truck 620 where you know it's carnival time, so we getting on road. I grab up a chain and drag it on the road, and I hold that girl on the corner, and I burst out like Hunter. Say she want the man to walk up, when it Trojan maximum slammer. So I hold that girl on the corner, and I burst out like Hunter. Say she want the man to walk up, when it Trojan maximum slammer. When we touch down, you open shell up. 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 When you see we Juve morning, all we do is chip. Behind the truck Juve morning, we black and we green, sick. All the girl inside our van, make she bend and stick. She jab like we don't give a damn. We mad and we sick. When we touch down,
Just saving with customized car insurance from Liberty Mutual, I customize everything. Like Marco's backpack.
Dawn Power Wash Dish Spray for everyday dishes and a whole lot more.
It's a boy Dev, King of the Juve. Chop. Oh gosh, Juve money na jump like a fish out of the road. Pull up on a bumper, start to post when cause I'm feeling good. She could be a doctor, could be a lawyer, could be a judge. All I know is Juve, and I ain't charge of Bam Bam. All I want to do is chop. Chewbacca bumper, y'all. Chop. It's Juve money, y'all. Chop. You will get pretty wine. Chop. Oh God. Pass me the liquor, pass me the cup. Give me some ice. Girl, I'm a bumper well long and nice and it looking nice. She winding it up, I like winding up. She winding it down, I like winding down. All over tight and not falling down. We going
around and around.
All I want to do is
Jam. Ash, where you at? What's going on, people? Good night, good night.
I am here for my temporary set. You see me?
I see you. You in the car.
In the car.
You in the Renegade?
This is Rennie's first feature. I'm excited.
Renegade, 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 Renegade. I had a Jeep Renegade 2016. I liked it a little bit. And one of the features it had on it, it had a dual sunroofs. Cool. Could take out the whole back sunroof.
That's nice.
Stick your head out of there.
Honestly, I love it, but I would have made a different choice if I knew what I know now.
What do you mean?
It's just really small. And like now that we're back, if I had that when I was still in North Carolina, it would have been the bomb because we were in the mountains all the time, like every week. In Virginia, I'm riding around the streets. I don't need this. And the trunk stays. Like I could barely go grocery shopping because it's like it's 4 to 6 people in my household at any given time. I cannot fit that many groceries in a car, especially if I brought people to the grocery store with me. That's
I understand that because when we had it and we used to go grocery shopping. Can't put too much in there.
Right. It's not a family car.
If you know nah, definitely not a family car. It's just I think it's just a more swift, savvy looking Jeep, regular, like one of the Wranglers and other Jeeps.
I guess a vacay. If I was on vacay on this, I would be hyped.
Mm-hmm.
If I was courting
better on the gas.
Exactly. Right. Gas. Yeah. But I love her.
So how things going with you? You love Rennie?
I do love Rennie. I'm good. Chilling. Had some personal things going on, but maintaining. How are you?
Today is one of those days where I was challenged at my job. One of those days where somebody just had the character. I'm pretty cool at my job. You know what I'm saying? Most people walk away when I walk away, everybody walk away smiling. One of the jokes I've told or something I've motivated them to smile. This not today, boy, not today. He definitely got mad at me. And definitely called me. And these are quotes. And this is definitely fucking black nigger bitch.
Oh no.
Or fucking nigger black. One of them shit.
No.
Because I wouldn't open this car. Well, Papa Lock's policy is not to open a vehicle for anybody that's inebriated. I explained to the gentleman that he was inebriated, and based on the behavior, he can't tell me he wasn't. Who gets that mad? Use another company if that's the case. But what I explained to him was that I personally will not open up the vehicle for anybody that's drinking, because my personal belief about drinking and driving, it seems that the person who's driving and drinking, they end up hurting other people, but they walk away from the situation.
Exactly.
And charges lawfully for driving is very I feel inadequate, for the crime.
It's very lax.
But Papa Lock's policy is not to open a vehicle for anybody who's been drinking. And I decided not to because he was getting very abrasive. And if you're in control of yourself and not under the influence of anything else, you wouldn't act out like that. But it's cool.
Yeah.
You can call me what I want. I'm very confident in myself. And I don't even know what that is, what he called me, because in description,
right.
It definitely doesn't fit me. I mean,
exactly.
So because we still haven't determined what a nigga is. So
or black. We talked about that before.
Exactly. So
right.
So today's topic. What do you expect?
I said we know what a bitch is, but you're still not. We know what a bitch is, but you're still not that.
Understandable. A bitch is a female dog.
Exactly. So he
So
was
like I said, but he did get a little rowdy and got up in my face. But there was a gentleman, a brother, because he definitely was a brother. Big dude too, man. Big dude. When the white guy did get a little close, he was excited because he had $10,000 cash in his pocket.
what?
Started throwing, oh yeah, he pulled out a roll of money and threw it at, I got this, I got that. But to have $10,000 in your pocket, cash, and not be able to get your car door open, really doesn't state much now, does it? All that
Okay.
money, you're gonna still be in the same position you was before you let everybody around you know you got 10 grand in your pocket.
Okay.
It's cool. So, but it also shows to the personality and where their own traits are at, and what type of negativity that they harbor on. Because once you get mad at someone not doing what you want, that entitlement, you call them out their name or something that you feel is derogatory.
Right.
Words only hurt if you believe them. So
Exactly.
his actions might have cost him more than 10 grand had he put his hands on me. So.
Okay.
But a mature person, as I am, simply just found a way to get out of the situation. But fortunately, the black guy was there, and he stepped right in between me and the dude and told me to go ahead on.
Oh, that's
And
right.
he made sure nothing was going to happen to me. And I felt I want to thank him. Personally, I did thank him at the time, but he asked me if I was okay, and I told him, yeah. I mean, I'm okay with the fact that I am a woman, and sometimes people, and because I'm and the aggressive portion of the relationship, a lot of men will try you. But to have a brother step up because he know that what was going on wasn't right, I'm grateful for that, and
Right.
I'm thankful for his parents, whoever raised him, because
Exactly.
he could have mind his business. So. Like I said, I was doing my job. He didn't like the way I was doing my job. Oh well. I'm not unlocking the car door if anybody drunk. And if to sit there, he wanted to do a whole field sobriety test. Told me to find a breathalyzer. I'm telling you, the behavior you can
Maybe
tell was.
he was on drugs.
I mean, I cannot state whether he was on drugs, but definitely was influenced by the alcohol he had drinking. And
Right.
I went inside the bar to find him. He was sitting at the bar when I found him. And when I asked the bartender if he was drinking, she said, yeah. Well,
Right.
sounds like you've been drinking to me, sir. So, I mean, it doesn't matter if you had to drink 10 days. But it's cool.
Right. Well, that's good that you're sticking to your company's policies. And it's kind of good that you started off with that story too, right? Because it almost leads directly into our topic, right? Like what is to be expected from businesses in certain things. Like especially lately, right? Because he called you racial slurs, and that's a big thing now, right? Like businesses are focusing on diversity and inclusion and all this stuff. Like, is that something to be expected from businesses? Like, should that be part of a business practice?
What, to be respectful to everyone, no matter what shade their skin color is? Is that what you're asking me?
No, of course that should be it, right? But as far as
Exactly.
the diversity and inclusion, like companies are having webinars, seminars, whatever, for their employees to learn more about other cultures. Excuse me. And like just learn, like, right, like one of the last things I learned at work was you can't say, like, if somebody's talking to me and you, they can't say, oh, hey guys. They can call us folks, because guys is, I don't know, gender specific. I don't know the whole reason why that's incorrect. I guess because it's gender specific. But like, is that something that businesses should be focused on with their employees? Let's start there.
Well, I mean, I think that they would want to be a balanced business by having a little bit of information on everyone that's their culture. Personally, I think that if it's more family setting in a business, it tends to thrive more. If people consider their job as their, their own business, then they tend to work a little bit better towards building their businesses. And a lot of us come from a different walks of life, but it's definitely something I think is appropriate that we know a little bit about their culture so that we have a better understanding of who people are in general, and not go based on the folk tales that our family members, our elders, have told us for us to believe how a certain set of people are, because that's what it is. You don't know exactly how people are until you meet them. But based on the things that other people have experienced and shared and doctored, our own per se opinion about how those people are.
Okay. I agree. I feel like that's important to be knowledgeable about other people, especially when you work. First of all, your workplace should be diverse anyway. There's no reason, especially today, where people are getting turned away because of skin color, gender, uh, religion, age, whatever. You know, so that shouldn't even be a thing anymore, but it is. And second, when you're working with in a culture that's already racially or just socially diverse, you should have knowledge about the people that you're going to be around. Like I've seen people say stuff like this guy one time, he was going back home to China, and someone, of course it was a white person. They seem to be the most
Ignorant.
dense when it comes to situations with differences, and instead of taking the time to
Mm-hmm.
be a experience, they like to be the ones sharing knowledge. So of course they were giving a whole conversation about what parts of China they wouldn't go back to, and how, and just talking, and what they were saying might be true, but I don't feel like that's something that you should say, one, to a Chinese person, and two, when the person is already on their way back home. That's like
Mm-hmm.
talking about Brooklyn and talking about all the hoods you're not gonna go to. Like, okay, I'm not gonna be in the hood either. I don't understand what this conversation is.
Well, it's probably because a lot of them have bad sense of humor. What's funny to them normally isn't funny to other people. Straight up, and some of the stuff they say, they time to go. So like I said, culturally bred. The information they have inside their head based on what they were told makes them say stupidness. You have to be quite honest. Some of the things they say is quite stupid. Why would he care where you wouldn't want to go back to in China when he's from China? He knows about everything in China versus you just went to bad situations. Now, everywhere in the world there's a ghetto, there's a rich neighborhood, and a middle class, lower class. So no matter where in the world you go, you can find a situation.
So now, do you think that businesses should be focusing on diversity and inclusion when it comes to their customers?
Of course, because any business that performs a service or anything like that, their customers should come first. They're doing it for the people, correct? So
Mhm.
you definitely should have good knowledge and background. But I mean, a lot of businesses do statistical background, on areas so that they, can provide what these certain areas need.
Right. So I guess we finally found something we don't agree on, huh? Because there's been a lot of episodes, and it's always I agree with
Um,
that, but I don't agree with that. I have been the only person with my opinion that I have, but I don't. I feel like when someone is financially invested in something, I do not want them to pick a side unless that's your customer base. I
mm,
don't I don't want them to stand with me in solidarity with these uh Black History Month shirts and stuff when that's the only time that y'all have it out. Or now that people were going to Black businesses and buying from them directly, now they want to jump in on it and stand with Black people because it's making them money. No. If that's how you felt, then that's how you feel. I don't feel like don't put that in your marketing campaign. You selling me now. I don't feel like that's genuine. I also feel like businesses are supposed to be a neutral place. If I go shop at a grocery store and a racist person shops at a grocery store, neither one of us should be having any weird ass encounters. If the racist person decides to do something weird to me, then of course I feel like the business should step in and say, hey, you gotta go. But other than that, it's supposed to be a neutral ground. I should feel comfortable in there, and that racist person should feel comfortable in there, because that business is selling to both of us.
I mean, when were you able to change able to go into, let's just say, Sears?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the oldest. At the time, we were in line with Sears. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're way slower than we are when it comes to bringing people into their business. So we have to, well, their expectations of us is to act like we're in those type of businesses. I don't think a business, the business shouldn't pick sides, but you got to think about every business's goal is to make money. So whoever's going to be, whatever consumer is going to be spending most money, right? That's the one businesses should cater to. I mean, if you're just talking business, if we want to take out anything personal, then that's all they would be catering to, is the people who spend the most money.
And I agree with that. They should be doing that. But at the same time, I don't know. I just feel like, and I feel like that makes sense, so I can respect that. But I don't take it seriously. I'm not going to go frequent. I already love Target. I'm not going to go frequent Target now because they have black stuff in there. I actually don't even buy the black stuff from Target. It don't sit right with me. So I don't do it. I feel like they pick the most trendiest thing. Like, black people have been having issues for the longest. Other people other than whites have been having these racial issues for the longest. Why all of a sudden you want to put money into your marketing campaign to sell and focus on us now? This is not new.
No, it's not new, but it's what's trending.
And it's disgusting.
Well, I mean, how are they going to make the money now? A lot of the secrets and ways that they went about businesses before, or handling their businesses before prior,
right?
They can't bully it like that now. They have to go according to this and according to that because they've been exposed.
Right, and that's true.
And who spends the most money on nonsense?
Oh, that's also true.
So you got to think about everything. To me, the bottom line, people that you don't see don't care nothing we talking about.
Right.
They only looking at numbers. They're not looking at any type of color, anything like that. But I mean, except for when they're doing something, dealing with geography, then they might look at color and how to do. But I mean, who else is gonna buy the stuff?
That's true. And I feel like it's the same way with gender things, right? Now they have all these non-gender specific clothing. Like, I understand that representation matters, and I understand that to an extent. That's a different, we'll talk about that after. But I feel like they're just getting sold. Like, they're just like, oh, buying it up, and really they don't care about you and your gender, like you said. They just want to make some money, and I don't feel like that's right. I feel like that's the business world, and on the business level I get it, but as a consumer, I don't feel like that's right, and people should not be eating it up.
But even still, when you don't like something, you might talk about it. You give people, you acknowledge it, so people go and look to see whether they choose for themselves, and then they get free publicity like that. That's when you don't like stuff, you end up giving people a lot of free publicity. As far as clothing being unisex, all clothing has probably been unisex for a long time. It's just not been exposed. Again, everything that now has been exposed, brought to the light, has been neutralized. I might say it's no longer you know, an issue for America, they use that as a strategy. And that's what ended up happening. Now, you know, it's okay for men to be wearing rompers.
Right.
And they marketing the rompers as such, you know, as such, as a unisexual. So people are feeling comfortable enough to wear what they want. So again, numbers,
Oh,
numbers, numbers,
right.
numbers.
So, right, because I mentioned representation, and I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand with this. I guess we could talk about it a little bit. I don't see the big deal with representation. I I am gonna admit that we grew up in a family that really, I think they did a decent job. I would say a good job in making us be proud of who we were and be okay with being ourselves. Um, so when I hear all these conversations about representation, I find it hard to relate. Like when I was little, I had white Barbie dolls. I had both, of course. I had more black Barbie dolls than white, but I had white Barbie dolls. I found them pretty, and that's it. When I'm watching shows on TV, like I never watched a show as a child and thought I want to be that white doctor or I want to be that white such and such or that Indian such and such. Like I always saw it like I want to be a doctor. I want to be this. Like I didn't feel like it had to be a black person that I was looking at for me to see myself. I literally always saw myself. So when people be like representation matters, I'm like, I have a hard time relating with that. Like I really need that to make sense for me because I don't.
Well, yo, it's funny
It's not
because
fair.
I wanted to be MacGyver. He was white, but
Right.
he did things. Listen, we were only able to be what we saw. So now, I guess people are fighting for us to see what we need to see culturally to motivate us. I don't get it really, but
Right.
the focus so much more on how not to lose their capital and finances is to tells me that's the most important thing that they're looking at. Really, they could care less if it's an Indian, a Puerto Rican, Jamaican, whatever. They're not really concerned about culture or any of that stuff. They just care about dollars because like there's a McDonald's everywhere,
Hmm.
and you would think that it's not funny or nothing like that, but if you would think about culturally, if you went into McDonald's that the Chinese people were running, would you think that the Big Mac would taste the same or just almost like the Big Mac? You know
Of course not.
why? They're people making Big Macs.
Yeah. So give me like a Chinese person in America, or because I've been to McDonald's in Spain or well in Europe, and in Spain and Germany they don't. In Italy it doesn't taste the same. They
Well,
really take the time to cater to their culture that they're selling to. So that's why I asked if you meant like, do you mean like
well that
Chinatown? Because
that
in Chinatown it's going to taste the same.
listen. I know you're not talking about no McDonald's in no damn Chinatown. They ghetto there too. It tastes just like any McDonald's anywhere else. But no, I'm talking about just like exactly what you said, like in Italy. You know, they take more pride in what they put out. America's all about the dollar. So that's what you get with America. You understand what I'm saying? Most people are at McDonald's because that's where they were able to find work and pay their bills at. So they're at McDonald's. And they will act as such at any given day. People,
Right.
you can't blame people for that. You know that is exact my exact motivation for why teachers should get paid a lot more than they're getting paid now, because we want people to want to teach. We want people to give their experience, because experience is the only way people understand stuff and be able to learn uh, the good lessons and things. Not everything negative has to turn out to be a lesson, but you can always learn from somebody else's mistakes. And if
Mhm.
the person talk about their mistakes and they give you some of the insight to that information, then you can clearly be able to use what you need in order to determine what you need for yourself, so that you can further yourself in the situation.
Exactly.
Because a lot of the times, a lot of women get trapped up with the same baby daddy drama. It don't even different.
Right.
But people still repeating the same behavior because that's just life, right?
Exactly.
Nobody's ever. That's not true. I mean, I say that, but I've met a lot of interesting people who are technically or really are spiritually waiting and not just out dating. I mean, they it's not to say that they haven't had sex before or have made a couple of mistakes, but realize their mistakes,
Exactly.
realize their mistakes, and decided to dedicate themselves to wait until they find someone who is definitely worth it and willing to progress in that type of relationship. And I commend that. I just think that you need to start off that way. You know, I don't see anything wrong with having children at 28 and start having children at around 28, 30. I don't see no problem with that. It's a lot of time to get things in your life done.
Exactly. I don't see anything wrong
But I
with that.
mean, what you saying?
I said I don't see anything wrong with that either. I had Jamel at 27, so
Yeah, I mean, like I said, but you've been places. You were able to experience some things in
exactly.
your life that you might have never experienced had you had children earlier than that. I'm not saying children is anything other than a blessing, but they can't. It's a situation where you can put this off until you are financially and mentally ready to be in a committed relationship to raise the kids. I just a lot of people don't like to admit that being because they had single parent household that some of their niches and get up and hang ups isn't based solely from that. And when you get
Exactly.
to realize that most behaviors come from some of the stuff that happened to you in your childhood, a lot of it is for protection as well. As children, we go into a lot of protective modes because we don't really know how to express what's going on. And once our mothers and fathers are always screaming at each other, what time do we have to get some of our answers? So you can't really help yourself as a child. But that's why I always say, if you work towards having a healthy relationship before you have children, those children will come out very healthy, very well
Exactly.
loved, and it's been shown. You know, I've seen a lot of situations like that.
Exactly. So, right with that, this kind of brings me back to your initial situation that you were telling us about your day. Um, I would assume, and this is just an assumption, that someone like the man that you dealt with earlier grew up in a
Mhm.
dysfunctional household, because that should not be an initial reaction to not getting your way. How, like, with all of this diversity and inclusion, I know that the business cannot really make the customers be a certain way, but like, do you think that businesses have a certain responsibility or should take a certain position to protect their employees when they have to deal with customers like that?
Of course. I mean, if you have someone working for you, your number one priority is, like I said, to treat them almost like family, because then they would want to protect more of the business than they would let it degenerate. So, I mean, if I feel like I have my company's back with some with decisions I'm making, based on their policies at least,
Right.
and I think they should respectfully have my back in the situation, because you got to deal with all walks of life when you have certain type of businesses.
Oh, yes, that's so true.
But back to the gentleman you were talking about earlier, he it could quite possibly be that he had both parents in the household, but functioning parents with loving care in their heart parents. That might be a definite question. And a lot of the times people don't see how their children behave when they're not around them. So
See,
you might think your kid is like a star, but on the outside he's so agitated and aggravated that he's just acting out, in on the outside world because he can.
so I used to think that. honestly, before I had Jamel. And then I
Mhm.
realized that parenting comes with a lot of feelings. And a lot of times, depending on what people's life is like, there's a lot of guilt associated with parenting. So I've seen parents where their children straight lie to their face, and they have the proof that they're lying. Where their children take just do little things that lead up to being a certain type of person, or you know what I mean, like
Mhm.
certain behaviors, and they ignore it, even though it's happening
Mhm.
the same way women or people ignore stuff in their own adult relationships. They do the same thing with their kids. So a lot of times, your kid is a hole or a thief or whatever, or really out here bullying folks, but you're so wrapped up in yourself that you ignore that. It's sad, but
Mhm.
they usually know. The same way when women know they be cheating on, it's hard. It's very hard to keep that hidden from someone you have to spend that much time with. They notice the changes, and it's how they deal with it, which a lot of people don't. They just say, no, my child wouldn't do that. No one good well their child would do that.
Situational parenting, situational life.
Right.
So a lot of people deal with the situation according to how they feel like they'll come out on top of the situation. They don't want to look bad in their child's eyes, or they don't want to look bad in this one's eyes. So they try to do things. You know, a lot of it is fear. They scared that their child might not react the way they wanted to, and they just don't have the strength. But that comes from where, however they were raised, they weren't able to have a voice in anything that they do. So they would rather, instead of any type of argument or uproar, they would just let things slide so they can understand that.
Exactly. Agree.
We we all know that ignoring problems don't make them go away.
At all. It actually makes them bigger. FYI, for all the people that thought that ignoring problems made sense, it doesn't go away. The person that you had a problem with might go away though. And if that's not what you want, you might want to deal with the problem.
Alcohol doesn't make it go away.
At
Drugs
all.
don't make it go away. Sex don't make it go away. None of that stuff makes it go away. Dealing with the actual issue makes it go away.
Exactly.
How you deal with the issue is another thing. You can always get help, speak to someone professionally. You know what I'm saying? Take some time out for yourself. Is like I don't see no reasons for anybody to be abusive in a relationship.
Exactly.
I don't see no reason for nobody to be in a relationship where they're being abused.
Exactly. There are lots
Ain't
of
that
courses available.
ain't that much love in the world for anything to allow anything to hurt you. The most love in the world should be for yourself.
Exactly. So from there, right?
Mhm.
We're talking about leaving. So when okay, so and we already discussed customers. You want to go in a place and while out, they kick you out, they have every right to. You can't go in there and disrespect the employees. You can't go in there and disrespect the business. You shouldn't even be nowhere to disrespect nobody because you really disrespected yourself.
Mhm.
But when employees are the disrespectful ones, do you think that they should be fired? Like, how do you think businesses should deal with that?
Business. Well, if their policy, states that if you get any type of argument or disruption at the time of work, states that they have a zero tolerance for that, then yes, you should be fired because you should never go work nowhere and not read up on their policies and procedures. It's one thing it does is protects you and it also informs you of what they would back, so you would have that information. I mean, it's very we talked about this. Customer service is a tough situation, and I see it time and time again. People feel like at any time they could be disrespectful
Right.
when somebody's because they pay for a service. You pay for a service, but if you want some type of humanity, then you need to act like a human, right?
Exactly.
You know, being animalistic, rude. We can think of a whole bunch of ways to describe some of the behaviors people carry out when they're not in the right space and time. Like
Right.
my biggest problem is if something else upsets you, do not take it out on me. I am me naturally. I'm a very bright person, so when I come anywhere I am, your tone automatically will change my tone.
Mm-hmm.
How you talk to me will automatically change the way I talk to you. And that's just how I am. Now my general day, I start off the same way. I do everything the same because I'm doing a job. So I'm meticulous at the same job. You do the same repetitive steps.
Right.
If you, at any time where you come across like you have an attitude, I can come across and have an attitude as well. But is that it just depends. So you normally can get out of a person what you give to a person. And that's just how you should run your life.
That's true.
But in a business, the majority of the time, the business would like to protect the business. And employees come and go, they're expendable. But customers is the ones that the main focus is. And personally, if you can't get people to come in your establishment, you can't make any money. And without no financial gain, you can't pay employees. So they need to think about that as well.
I feel like that makes sense. One. Two, I almost feel like, okay. So one, I always get concerned with these type of things because it's like, why do people feel so comfortable to do these things at work? I don't think that certain things should be discussed at work. I don't discuss sex at work. I don't, you know what I mean? Like certain things, when you get a job, you should feel like it's off limits. And if you don't understand it, then your job should be creating an environment for you to feel that when you get in there, you are uncomfortable. When people talk about sexual harassment, all this stuff, like, how is that happening at work? Why did you feel so comfortable that you could go to work and slap somebody on the ass? Like, where do you work at? But I also feel like when employees do certain things, like when they're racially profiling or they're being, wrong or about how they deal with people of different genders or whatever causes them to be discriminatory, I almost feel like for a first offense, there should be some training. They should get written up. Maybe they should. I don't know if civilian jobs dock your pay because military jobs dock your pay. But I feel like there should be some disciplinary action, but they also need some training because maybe they just don't know how. I don't know, but there are still people in this world that still don't know. Train them to help them be better people. You want to be a business and you want the best for your employees, then help them be the best version of themselves. Now, if you give them all the training and they still act like a asshole, then they might have to go because it shouldn't be no more incidents after that. You talk to them one time, you train them. They should not be doing it again. If they're doing it again, they probably doing it on purpose.
Purpose, or they can't help themselves because just basically the way they are raised or brought up, they have to act natural.
They better at work. You have to act like you at work. You act natural off the clock.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I thought when you said that though, I thought you was talking about more or less how people have discussions at work about their personal businesses. That's kind of
that too. That's not enough. Ooh.
I thought that's what you was going with that because a lot of times you can go places and when you're doing something for someone else, you would overhear a conversation with other people and some of the stuff that they're discussing have no place having those type of discussions in the workplace.
Exactly.
So if they get reprimanded for that alone, because we always complain, but there's always a Karen or at the job who just can't hear the word sex, vagina, penis one time at all. Won't go run and tell human resources that their heirs are being assaulted sexually.
Right.
But you would have to carry yourself in a better situation than that because you got to always remember you're at work. You have these breaks. What you talk about on your work breaks is fine, but in the workplace where see that's what I understand. Like if you already peep your surroundings and where you work at and get to know the people that you work with, you would more or less know how to handle each and every individual. When you're around them, and then know how to deal with them in a group setting. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people are good at that as well, where they can be there and not be there at all, absorb everything, say nothing, and then discuss it later. But they keep that information themselves, and they use that to see who not to be around. But some people can naturally are just like me, bright, and will talk with everybody and try to keep the place flowing. not realizing that they might say something a little offlandish or not really appropriate in the workspace, just to keep the place lit up or light, or get some of the load to lighten the day. So people are like that. So it's tough. But again, with these businesses, the people that's doing the hiring and setting up the employees, if they're only taking the time to look at these people on paper and the interview with their representative, they never know what they're gonna get. So
that is true.
You know, people come across as, you know, one way, but when they get loose and comfortable, they get loose and comfortable.
That's true. And I just be so baffled. Like, I be looking. I think it's even worse when I go to a business and I hear their personal business as a consumer. Like, are you serious right now? Are you serious right now? You're really talking about what you did over the weekend while I'm up here trying to check out or check into the hotel or wherever I'm at. You know, like, you cannot be serious right now. And you're grown. It ain't even like I went somewhere where teenagers work, because I understand that. I'm there where people my age and up is working, doing that. I'm like, oh, baby, this cannot be life. Do I need to talk to corporate? Because y'all struggling out here. Y'all need to be trained again.
Well, what was funny to me, I went to go unlock a car for a lady today, and she said that, you know, she's a teacher. I'm not going to mention her name or anything like that. But she said that these kids come to school and tell all y'all businesses.
I heard.
All the parents' businesses in school. Yeah, so you see where that starts from, right?
Right. I heard. Jamel just started telling my business too, so.
All of them, I don't know. Kids been telling people business for a long time. They so honest. They don't see nothing wrong with that.
Exactly.
You know? And if you're not explaining to them what they're doing and how, when, where, and why things are appropriate, they'll continue to make that mistake.
Okay. Luckily, I don't got no business. He be like, my mom sleep all the time. Like, nobody asked you.
I mean, that's cool. You know, if that's all he knows. You know, you don't want your children having any of these any of y'all problems in their heart.
Exactly.
So they should never know your business.
Right. You got any more diversity questions?
No, not really.
Trying to think. I feel like we covered it all. Don't be wilding in the people's store. Don't disrespect the employees. Don't disrespect the customers.
Mm-hmm.
Be professional.
Each one teach one.
Okay.
Like the uneducated educated. Like the each one teach one. I talk to people every day, all day long, you know, and I get some of their stories and stuff like that, because I like the information, you know, and that's definitely a good part of diversity, because you get to hear people's opinion from every type of culture, and you hear what's going on, and I love it. To me, it's absolutely amazing what people think, you know, how people think, you know, how people behave. It's funny to me, you know.
Exactly.
Right. A lot of the times when people hear me on the phone, they think I'm a dude, and then when they see me, they're surprised. To me,
Who thought that? I don't know. Maybe because I know you. I'm like, who thought that?
Well, it happens to me all the time. I have a conversation with people. They'll call me. They will read out my whole government name and then still be like, "Sir."
Yeah, it's the raspy voice.
I guess, and you know that is because of some things that I shouldn't have been doing. Smoking is one of them. Smoking definitely has helped cause that problem. Also, a little bit of trouble on my vocal cords, so it keeps my tone low.
Right. We all that's in the family too. We got that little rasp going on. We don't have high voices either. Like I gotta do something for my voice to be high.
I mean, I would have to really concentrate. I was going to speech therapy after the surgery, so she basically explained to me how I should be vocalizing when I'm speaking, because of sometimes the way I speak is to do damage to my own vocal cords.
Oh no! What?
Yeah, you know, your vocal cords are a very thin layer of skin,
right.
And how you enunciate and pronounce words is the force that you throw against your throat is what makes the sounds. You know, so if you have to emphasize more, you know, with your voice instead of with the, because she says you should be talking breathy, is what she's saying. You know, like good morning, how are we doing today? In order to keep your vocal cords, you know, level,
Right.
so that they're not going through high and lows and being
Mm,
forced open and forced stuff like that. So I mean, you don't even think like that, but that's some of the things I believe that the singers learn how to deal with when they deal with vocal coaches, is how to not strain the vocal cords.
right. That's crazy.
And
I never known that. Do you ever
what?
think about what would happen if you can't talk again?
No.
No.
I think that might be something that would send me into ultimate depression. I talk a lot, so I mean, I'm naturally a talking person. I am naturally. I can
That
talk
is
all day long.
funny.
Don't bother me. I'll be going to unlock people's cars, and we be there for a good 30 minutes talking. And I mean, they like listening to me talk as well. So I don't know. I try not to say anything too judgmental, but
Right.
when they tell me some of their problems, but I try to keep it real. Like, did you really honestly think about who you were getting into a relationship with before you started sleeping with, dude? Yeah, now you don't want your baby father to come see your kids because you don't like him. Is that his fault that you don't like him? Stuff like that. And then you get interesting stories where I had one girl tell me that she her husband, right, a husband who has like 7 or 8 other children, who at the time when we spoke was incarcerated. She said she was holding him down and the stepkids down and their kids down all by her lonesome. That's a lot.
Right. That is a lot.
That's definitely one person not being able to focus enough on any one child in order to give them enough attention to see what it is that they need. That's a hard job, but I commend her for trying
Right.
and to stick by a dude that's in prison for whatever reason he's in prison for, and take care of his children at that is honorable. So
Right.
I do get to meet a lot of good people. People who co-parent well and all kind of stuff.
Right.
But a lot of people I meet lock their keys in the car, or their car won't start, or they ran out of gas. So, but I get some interesting stuff.
Right. That's I can't. That's a lot. That just stressed me out listening to that. For real, just think about it. I'm like, dang. I cannot. I don't know. Even if they was all my own kids, that's still a lot. I
Well,
what happened?
go ahead. What you gonna say?
Oh, I was
No, I was just gonna say. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I'm just saying. Oh, being a business owner, if whatever business that I would venture into, I would try to have my employees really truly feel like that they were family members and that the business belonged to them. Because, like I said, you want the best output for your business. I'm too not gonna be too much focused on who comes in the door. Based on their color, race, or ethnicity. I would rather want the people that do more for my business to care about the product that I'm or the service that I'm providing, so that we also can provide the best service. It just makes it more easier.
Exactly. Right. People do better when they take pride in themselves and the stuff that they're putting their time and energy into. So you want to have a business that you're proud of, and you want your people, like you said, to feel like they have some ownership in here. Like they're not slaving away for you. They're actually in here doing something. Because when I go home sometimes, not so much with the job I have right now, but with other jobs I've had, I'm like, yo, I wasted my whole day. Like it became depressing after a while to feel like everything that I did not matter. I used to do stuff at work that nobody would ever check. I'm like, yo,
Mm-mm.
I literally been in here doing this and nobody ever looks at it. I almost don't even need to do this anymore. I bet you if I stopped today, nobody would notice. I'm sure the person who replaced me doesn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was literally wasting my time. So I definitely agree with that. It definitely has to be like a family. And you want people to have You want your customers to have the best experience. You want your employees to be productive. Y'all got to be a family. Y'all got to be tight. You don't even got to know them for real. You will, of course, because it's going to be like a family, but y'all got to be tight because that matters. That's important.
Well, one of the biggest things that I do expect is for them to return.
Right.
You understand? And if people are not treated well when they come to a business, they will not use the business again.
Exactly.
So you don't make any money. So why would you not want to make sure that your employees have a little bit of versatility in them, education, patience? And I agree. I agree that one of the trainings before anyone gets on the job is how to deal with all of the diverse cultures that may come through the businesses. I think it's a good informational seminar that should be given in businesses, because a lot of people don't know how to deal with people because of some of the things that they personally feel.
Exactly.
And in business is business, and personal is personal.
Exactly.
And I honestly think that a lot of times people do things to hurt people only when they're in a situation where they feel hurt. So
that exactly. I agree. It's a lot of displaced anger and or emotions running around. And it's really sad because you don't know what that other person got going on in their life. Like the other day I watched someone at the hospital. Her husband died, and one of the workers who has their own family member in the hospital is there consoling this woman and trying to make her feel like it's gonna be okay, and making sure she can walk, because the lady had to sit down, like it tore her up. And you know, like people do that, but you don't know that lady is probably so grateful to have someone consoling her and don't even have a clue that person is already going through something. You don't know what people have going on in their life. It's okay to be kind to other people. It's okay to remember that other people matter, because you matter. You want people to treat you like you matter, then you need to be out here acting like other people matter too. Both on the clock and off the clock.
I mean, what you're giving is definitely what you're getting, and the universe always shows you that. Like I said, my vibe, my aura is usually bright, and when I approach people with how bright, we shine together. We get a good laugh. We enjoy each other's presence. I don't go intentionally being a dickweed to anybody. I might I might be tired or angry or not feeling well. There's a lot of times people don't understand when you're in a great deal of pain. There's nothing you can do to comfort it. You might not have the best attitude towards things. But again, like I have to say that I chose to have this type of job. I chose to do this. So let me do it to the best of my ability. And that's that. I mean, I can make my my visit with people short if I'm not in the greatest of moods. I try not to let that come off in the way I treat them. I just do what I got to do and get out of there. But some people, their aura brings you out of certain funks because they're so sweet, or they have that timing that you need in a person to say something to bring you out of some of that funk that you be in at times. And again, we're only human. We deal with our emotions humanly, and that's what we try to understand. Business, which is an entity, shouldn't have any type of feeling in that. Most things that should be expected is not diversity as far as the rules are concerned, but the consumers and the employees is where the diversity needs to be.
And I love that you said that. One, emotions are contagious. So smiling is the better way to meet people. People talk about first impressions. I think that's the most important thing. Two, oh shoot, you said something else and now I forgot. I was watching a truck in the parking lot. You said no, you said you chose that job. And I feel like a lot of people forget that. You're not stuck there. You chose that job. You chose to get up and come here today. And if you don't like the way that it feels when you get there, then choose another job. Why be out here treating people shitty because you chose a job you don't like? Choose a job you like. There's other ones. I feel like a perfect example of that is the DMV. Everybody in the DMV hate their life. Go work somewhere else. You don't have to be here. I had someone give me the runaround 3 times for a title.
Mhm.
She know the rules. I don't work there. Why just tell me what the DMV rules are so I can do this properly? Why would you tell me that, oh, I don't have what I need, but don't tell me what I need? I don't know what it is. If I knew that, I would have brought it with me when I came here.
One of the reasons why I like the word the uneducated educator is because people who have no technical knowledge of things could understand this. Now, I could be wrong, but everything that you need or whatever you want to do in a lot of these places, especially government places like the DMV and Social Security Office and stuff, list a list of things and that you can bring, their policies. People don't take the time to read all that. So when you go someplace and you don't take your time to read and have any information that's structural to what you're doing or constructive to what you're doing, it can frustrate other people. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm clearly, you know, like they tell you to bring your birth certificate, social security card, proof of residency, and maybe a bill or something that, you know, those are things. And then they list the things that you can bring that will give you proof of these things. People don't read that. They still go in there and get frustrated, get angry with the people behind the counter because y'all not reading
Right.
what's going on. So don't get mad at the people at the DMV.
Nah.
But recently, I get mad at the people at the DMV because they still got a lot of these people out here in Virginia driving their vehicles. They don't need no license.
Well, that's a different story. The DMV don't believe the police. They letting them ride around on these streets.
No, the DMV is the one that give these people their license. If you're in a parking lot, in a parking space, coming out of someplace where you're in a stop position, and you can look the driver of the car coming at you in the eye, you shouldn't pull out in front of them. That is not enough time.
Right. People don't care. I realize people are wrapped up in their own little world that they don't even feel that they're driving a freaking death trap. Like a car is a killing machine and they still don't care. They hope you have good brakes. I'm like, the amount of people on this road that do not maintain their cars, I do not take that chance. And I got a brand new car. Ain't no way. I'll wait till I pull out.
You never know. That road might be on this last level.
Okay.
And slip. And they not able to stop fast enough to avoid hitting you. Is it worth it?
Never.
I mean,
just like when people,
I just don't know. They don't read that book either. What them signs mean, the lines in the street mean. If the traffic light is out and it's blinking, it now becomes an always stop. You think people stop? Because they're on the main road, they just drive.
I get so frustrated at always stops. It's literally the person to the right of you. That's it. You don't got to keep track no more. Once somebody's at all 4 junctions, it's just the person to the right go. Why are y'all then the person across trying to run because they want to go in the turn it, they stop there? That doesn't exist anymore. Now it's full. No, can nobody realize? I don't know who pulled up over there. If they pulled up before me, I'm gonna be trying to go. They're gonna be trying to go. No, it's the person to the right. Everybody take a turn. Just like when it's traffic and people got to merge. One person go, then one person go. One person go, like, it's courtesy. And that's what it boils down to. It's okay to think about other people. It's okay to be courteous to strangers. All of y'all want to get home. All of y'all have somewhere to be. All of y'all have an emergency. And you cannot reach anywhere if you crash. You can't. It's just impossible.
Listen. Although, listen to me, right? People, I mean, this really is sickening, right? So you're on a highway and the traffic is starting to back up. You're going to decide to go in the lane of the people that's exiting off the traffic, right? Exiting off the highway to the very end where now you're blocking everybody behind you that's getting off just so you can get in front of somebody so you can wait extra, so you can get up there extra 2 minutes or 2 cars. You're going to look the same way. If people would stop doing that, then the traffic could flow. But because they have to now stop and let people in who have no patience, keep cutting in front, everything is slowing down. That is the most sickening thing in the world. If you don't belong in that lane, why are you in there? That is so inconsiderate.
Exactly.
and it only causes them more of a backup. Like 64 East, man, listen, go towards Virginia Beach, 664, these two highways over here, man, these people are ridiculous. They in 4 lanes trying to cut over to the last 2 lanes on the left. They keep driving, just keep driving, and then now you got a whole line of people waiting to try to cut in front of people, with a whole line of people trying to get off, with a whole line of people just so frustrated with all these people cutting in because they have no patience.
It's the worst. People don't understand. They don't understand how it works. Just like if it's 2 lanes, ride the 2 lanes out. It's okay to get over. Again, because it should be 1 and 1, 1 and 1. They leave 1 lane empty and back up the other lane. I'm like, yo, I'm not doing that. I go straight to I don't like to do that because I understand that their time is precious too. But that's what the second lane is for. So you're not backed up 4 streetlights back. Like, or 4 miles back. Like,
I'll ride on the side of the damn road if I have to in order to get around the traffic. I'm not gonna be stuck on no traffic because these people want to be so inconsiderate and cut in front of people and cut people off and hold people up from getting the way they go because the line is too long.
Exactly. I also, people need to be more mindful with these big rigs. They cannot stop like a regular car. You cannot cut them off. You cannot be more than 2 car lengths in front of them trying to cut over. They will kill you. Like, that's it.
And these big rigs need to be mindful of the people on the road. Just because you big don't mean you got a bully.
I mean,
and you know that.
I keep on seeing. I seen somebody, and it was just the front of the truck. Thank goodness. But he literally pulled over in front of him and just slammed on the brakes. That man, that truck had to honk on his horn. Why would you do that?
Girl, I had a guy that was in front of me, and the big rig was on the right hand side of us. Well, he was behind the big rig the whole time. The big rig came over. Obviously, if a big rig changes lane, they feel like they have the necessary room to do so. Mm-hmm. If you're not paying attention and get caught up there like that, that's your business. It's a big ass truck. It needs time. So once he has the time, you should be approaching that type. This man got so mad and cut in front of me. I mean, barely missing both of us, barely killing himself. To go now, speed up in front of me and slow down so he can curse out the man in the big rig.
Oh my God. Whew, I don't play those games neither. I talk my shit in my car, but I ain't following you. I ain't yelling at you. I ain't pointing at you. I'm not doing none of that. I'm not.
Well, I don't know about that because some people be doing such just dumb shit. Boy, I just gotta look them in the face like, really, your mother let you live still? But then she should have swallowed your dumb ass. Yeah, but because that don't make no sense.
You looked at them. I'm talking about he want to curse and no, I don't do that. I look at people, but I'm not doing that. I'm not following them. Like I can't.
That road rage be serious, bye.
I be seeing that shit. I'm like, yo, you cannot be seeing.
What the hell was the name of that movie, man? Did you see that movie?
No, I heard about it. I don't. It's not on anything that I have.
Unhinged. I believe that was the movie. Unhinged. Watch that. Yeah, you think twice about being so road rageous. Exactly. You never know what you get. Some of these people be crazy.
Okay, and I'm not one of them. Sorry.
Did you see that guy that got pulled over by the state trooper and he started fighting the state trooper and he had the state trooper, but a citizen who was a concealed carrier stopped, pointing his gun at him and made him get up and help the cop out.
Oh my God.
People losing their damn minds, I'm telling you.
Hey, for real. That's too much. Just take your ticket and go. If you want to go to court and fight it.
He was getting his car towed. That's why people go to extremes when life is about to be at the last moment, man. They just go all out because they know they just go for broke. You got to think, put yourself in a better situation than that. Exactly. Put yourself in better situations, man. Let's stop being so stupid with certain things. Put yourself in better situations, man. Mm-hmm. Pay them fees. Stop worrying about trying to buy all that Zaza and all the new weed coming out. Pay your registration fees and your insurance. That way you hit somebody, your insurance company will cover their bills. They don't have to be struggling trying to fix what you did, your irresponsible ass didn't do.
Exactly. And get your lowest deductible. It's the best thing for you.
Well, yeah, I mean, aren't they talking like, you just need to put the bare minimum of insurance on your insurance. All that other stuff is just hogwash. People,
No, I believe in full coverage at all times,
Oh
but
no.
it's the lowest deductible. I believe in full coverage for me though. Like even if my car is paid off, I always have full coverage, and I've totaled a car before. So I'm like, yes, I'm glad I had that because I would not want none of this smoke right now, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do with my car.
Well, first of all, if my car is a certain age, it's not a necessity to have full coverage because you're not gonna recoup any of the money that you're gonna pay out if it's at a certain age because once the net worth of the vehicle is not gonna bring you back anything.
Yeah, but you get that money in your pocket.
You do, but if you crash up, somebody hits you and you crash up 1998 Toyota Camry, how much money think they gonna give you?
I don't know, but you get it in your pocket.
$5. $5 in your pocket. It's not gonna
Hey,
still ain't gonna help you with the down payment on the new car
it
you're
could
gonna
be
need.
$0 in your pocket.
What you need to do is keep getting new cars.
Oh well, that part.
Pay off as much as you can and keep going.
I'm all for that.
Run the credit in the ground.
All right, you can't take it with you.
You sure can't take that credit with you, but you can't get nothing without it. So you might want to protect it a little bit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I mean, you can't do nothing about that. You'll stay with full coverage. You also will stay with a brand new vehicle, so there's less of a chance of it breaking down at the toughest of times. Especially if you have a job which requires you to be driving something reliable. That might be one of your options. I mean, like I said, went and got the 16 Renegade, and when I got out here, they offered me an upgrade. I had, I was supposed to finish paying the other one off, and the loan wasn't too much more than anything, so that's why I ended up with that. But then the lady totaled that joint, so I didn't really have nothing to do with that. So now I got another brand. Well, it's not brand new now. I got it 2020 out, 2021. I don't remember. Anyway, I got a brand new car out there that I'm paying for my life for, and so that's why I'm paying a whole leg a month to keep in it.
Exactly.
But I got full coverage for sure.
Okay, that's the moral of the story. Full coverage, low deductible. It'll save your life.
Yeah, definitely. It's better to invest the money in it now. Also, that what's that stuff they got that my cousin had it. Iris, she had and was paying paying on one of those extended warranty joints.
Oh yeah.
And it came in handy when something happened to the vehicle. She was able to get a vehicle right away fixed because she was already paid. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good thing too.
But get a real one. Get one like when you get the car. Don't let those people call you on the phone. I don't know if those are legit or not. I didn't do enough research, but I probably wouldn't take them. When they start mailing you all this stuff and calling you on the phone, I probably wouldn't take those. But if you get it from the dealership, like when you go to CarMax got Max Care, get one of those. I got one on my Jeep. I didn't get it from CarMax. I got one on my Jeep for like 5 years or something. Transmission, engine, all that. Yes, important. Also, there's nothing wrong with getting a car that you got to pay for. I'm sorry. You do not save that money. Either you got a car that always need work or you got a car that got a monthly payment. I would take the monthly payment before I had to put my car in the shop every other day. But that's just me.
That's the balance of the car, and you're paying a car note. It's under warranty for the at least first 40,000 miles, so you can take it back and get it fixed on them. So that's one of the other benefits of that. Some things you need to be smart about. It's beneficial to you. And if you plan, I don't know, for some reason, people who pay off their car note, it's the next day, the week later, they got the most car trouble in the world, man, with that car when you finish paying for it. And what that means, but it would definitely give me, it gives me a little apprehension about driving a car and keeping it until I paid it off. Make that final payment, and then all the damn tires, wheels, and doors falls. It's just
on cinder blocks.
Of no use for you. So, well, we've been up here for a little hour and change. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, my final thoughts is don't be an a-hole. Learn about other people. Educate yourself so you can educate others. Diversity and inclusion should not have to be taught by a business or any other entity that wants your money. That should be something that you are practicing regularly at home, when you go outside, what you showing to your kids, what you learning from your parents, all that. That's all I got.
That's it. That's all you got.
That's it. I'm gonna drop the mic right there.
Oh, I dropped the mic for you. You know what I'm saying? Well, my final thoughts is that whatever you give is what you get. So think about that with everything you do in life, and you'll understand that the more positive output you put out, the more positive input you get in. So be kind to who you do unto others as you want someone to do unto you. It's a good motto. It's good practice. It helps you get through a lot. And again, like I said, if you're comfortable with yourself, you shouldn't have any problems with nobody else says. You should be able to handle it with maturity. Well, my mother's one of the things my mother always says, and I'll stick to it. If you have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. Good night. Peace.